When our people need direction, we give their status a correction. It's never about what you do, but how do it.
Peace and love, family. It's your boy, BrothaTruth, and we are live with another episode of Do You Know the Truth? And it is your host, BrothaTruth, coming at you live, man. Now, today's episode is going to be real interesting, man, because I don't need no script, I don't need anything like that. We're just going to give it to you real, uncut, and true, right? And it just dawned upon me, right, that they were doing this, I guess you call it a government shutdown. Well, I'll be John Brown, right? Because if you know, like I know, right? I don't know how something could be shut down when it was never operating de jour in the first place, right? Now, let's get a full understanding and a grasp of what exactly is going on right now, right? Now, it says the shutdown began at 12:01 a.m. on October the 1st, 2025, when Congress failed to pass appropriations to keep the government funded. Essential functions continue, like defense, air traffic control, but many federal agencies are operating at reduced capacity. Some employees are working without pay, and many others, right, are put on paid leave until funding is restored. So with that being said, it's important to know that the government has slowed down, right? But it hasn't officially stopped. Now, what I would like to ask brothers and sisters is, now we've seen many corporations go out of business in our lifetimes, right? I mean, one I could think of off the top of my head that was pretty big down here in Texas was something called Kmart. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are pretty familiar with Kmart. And Kmart had big, huge retail stores all across. And one thing that I can remember when they went out of business, right? When they shut down, they were no longer doing business anymore, right? They weren't. I mean, now this is a little bit different than filing for bankruptcy, right? We're talking about actually shutting down. Right. So in that sense, when a corporation damn near shuts down, or we know of any that shut down in our lifetime, they weren't still operating and doing business. Right. So I have to question, if the government is shut down and you don't have money to pay for TSA officers and many federal agents. Right. How do you find the money to book these flights to go overseas and sign peace treaty agreements? How do you find all this money and all these employees to do all of these things when the government is shut down? Listen, y'all, at some point we've got to start asking questions, okay? Because how is any of this even going on? Is any of this even de jure? Is it lawful? We know the answer to that already. Now, if you have watched any of the previous episodes that we've done on this podcast, then you already know, right? Ain't nothing been operating de jure lawfully since 1861 and Abraham Lincoln suspending the habeas corpus. Okay? All right? And it got even worse at 1871 when they converted this whole thing into a corporation called the United States, Inc. Right? And it converted everybody into U.S. citizens to come play their corporate games, which we see taking place right now on TV. Right? So the fact that a president can go overseas and sign peace treaties and all these different things during a government shutdown should already let you know that it was never real and operating in the first place. See, this is what we're going to have to understand, y'all. In these next couple of years, we're going to see things we've never seen in our lifetimes, right? And the reason why I say that is just because the script is scripted, y'all. It's scripted. And what I mean by that is, you know, so many of us, or, you know, whether you're Republican or Democrats, whatever, I can promise you the end result is going to always be the same, because the same people are in control. We know this. Right? We talking about Zionists. We talking about bankers. The same people who've always been in control are still in control regardless of who the president is. And it's been that way since 1871, since these Rothschilds and foreign bankers have came in to take over. Probably even before then. Okay, so this is something that we really got to understand. Y'all know that y'all got pride. And listen, I respect Donald Trump for what he is, right? He's a businessman. Other than that, it's like, cool, he's playing a administrator over a corporation, which is just conducting business, right? You feel any other way about this, man, it's because you've chosen to feel personal about their commerce and their business. You need to be focused and worried about your own. What are you building, right? What are you creating? What are you doing? This U.S. government, right, is literally just here to serve us. They work for us. Right? But yet our people are so concerned with their vote and who's doing what and what president is over here signing this. You need to be focused on home base, because what they are doing is creating a global, right, citizenship. I can promise you, all of you all are going to be involved in this, right? Did you see what they had going on with this peace in the Middle East? What you think? All the world leaders just got together. Listen, y'all, they are putting a new world of order right here in front of you. They're doing it. They're not hiding it anymore, right? And what we have to understand is this is why it's so important to correct our legal statuses. Because if you were still going to be hopping out around here as a U.S. citizen, then you must know that you are not going to have any national republic protections. You're not going to have anything equitable to stand on, y'all, right? Because y'all are going to sit up here and waive your rights just to be something that you aren't. So we've got to understand the smoke and the mirror that we see on TVs, y'all. Focus, because all of it is just a shit show. Okay? I don't care what they're signing over there in the Middle East. I promise you, all of this was a script that was already written and planned. And I can already tell you at the end, they're going to put this man Trump on a pedestal and they're going to put him up so high. He brought world peace. He brought all of this. Listen, man, this is all a part of the script. I don't care how you try to flip it, twist it, or whatever. They're going to make him look like the hero, which is cool. Really ain't none of my business, because that's what's going on in their corporate world. I have my own to manage, right? But we must understand that this system is here for our benefit, okay? When our mothers birthed us into this system, right, the U.S. government said, yo, don't worry about it. Okay, we're going to be the trustee over this young man or woman's estate, and we're going to make sure that we take care of him for his benefit. Okay, now the name of the game is we were never supposed to be the name all caps in that business that was getting privileges from their system. We were supposed to use that as a business and get benefits from it that benefit us in the private world. All right? Use your public benefits to build your private world. That's what this was always about. But for some reason, we got so in tune and so caught up in their conception that we forgot that that was a business. We started acting like that name, all caps, was an actual living person that represented us, the flesh and living blood man, and we couldn't be more wrong. When will we awaken to see what's going on, right? So I just wanted to hop on here today because I want y'all to know we've got to stop getting caught up in the smoke and the mirrors and learn the law. Because all of these legalities, all of these bills, all of these things that they are signing are under jour. They're unrealistic. Like even with these treaties and things that are being signed overseas, who's signing them? President Trump of the United States Corporation or President Trump of the United States of America? Well, can he even be the president of the United States of America when actual sovereign nationals didn't vote for him to be that position? Nah, you know what? U.S. citizens elected him and put him in office to be an administrator over this business corporation. Huh? Right? It's business, y'all. So we have got to take our personal feelings out of this and handle our affairs. We can't be caught up in their lies, in their games, and their shutdowns, and all of their TV dramas, right? Because you have enough drama there in your home, not having your affairs together and being out in these streets ass naked. It is time to get your affairs. It's only going to get worse from here. Do you have your trust set up? Right? At least do you have your foreign trust set up? Right? Because the name of the game is to do business in their corporate world, discharge the debts, offset them, and then convey them, right? Or bill of sale, and sell them to your private trust. Again, use your public privileges, that social, that credit that you have to your name, right? To acquire the assets that you want, discharge just to bring them over to your private world, right? When will you become Neo and come back into the matrix to save others and also come back to build your nation in the private? You've got to learn how to do this, all right? So I say all of that to say we can't let ourselves get caught up in the emotions right now. The only thing that we should be concerned with is going back to the Republic and asserting our English rights, y'all. It's so important. Right? Y'all do not have the time to be out marching, protesting, doing all of that, because what does that change? What has that changed since the 50s, since the 60s? What did that do for Martin? What did that do for Malcolm? What did that do for the Black Panthers? Are we not still in the same positions, fighting, asking, begging for privileges? So I guess the world didn't learn from us, because I look and I see over there in the UK right now, right? They're marching and doing all these things. And I look over here and in the Middle East, I look everywhere. You see all of these people taken to the streets, right? Marching and marching. But what's being accomplished, y'all? The world is already yours. You already have all the equitable rights and the power given to you by God. When will you actually assert that? Don't tell me you go to church every Sunday, but yet you don't have enough faith to stand on God's law and assert it. I tell you what, if your church ain't talking about asserting those equitable rights and your God-given strength and power in Psalms 82 and 6 and John 10 verse 34 that says, ye are God. What are you doing then? You got the position, you got the power, right, to take control over the destiny that you have here on this earth. But will you take the power in your hands, right, and be a God? Like they said in John 10, verse 1 through 34. Matter of fact, go back and read the whole verse, right? Because everything that I'm telling you now is the same thing that they were stoning Jesus for, right? Go back and read it, right? They started picking up stones, these Hebrew brothers, and started throwing them at Jesus. And Jesus was like, yo, what you stoning me for? And they were like, yo, because you're a mere man trying to tell us that you're a God, but you're a mere man like us. And I'm like, damn, well, didn't you see the brother walk on waters, do all these amazing things, metaphorically, allegorically, And you still don't get it, And that's what he said in John 10, verse 34. I'm not showing you all these great things. Ye are gods. And they still didn't believe him. And I'm telling you, the same thing is going on right now. Status correction has been in place for thousands of years. It's the same moment. It's the same time. And what I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, is ye are gods. Commercially, you have the ability to take control over your destiny, right? Everything was given to you. God has already instilled and given you everything you need to be powerful and successful in this system. Did he not give you a social? Did he not give you a constitution to lean on, right? Do you know the definition of a constitutor is one that is responsible for paying another person's debt? Didn't they already give you somebody to lean on? When are you going to take the time so that you can learn how to lean? Right? So that you can take the time to learn how to walk, how to talk, how to be a true sovereign like your ancestors were. It's time, y'all. And I hope that my life and my time here on this earth motivates enough people, at least 144,000 of you, to get off your ass and go and save yourself and save your family. Right? It's going to be up to us. There are billions of us on this planet. Can you imagine? It's only going to be a couple of thousand who actually see the light. I hope it's one of you. And I hope that I get to see some of you brothers and sisters on the journey. I get to meet you all from all over the planet. We spiritual family. And we're going to be that for a long, long time. But I do want to say, if we don't learn or do anything in this episode, it's pay attention. Understand the law and the system that we are living in. We must understand that nothing has been real or de jure in this country since 1861. Everything that you are seeing on TV is a production. Okay? I don't care what Congress passed. Congress hasn't been in office officially since 1861. Who are these people? Huh? What makes these corporate officers or agents any different than the employees over there at Burger King up the street? And lastly, I wanted to say this too, man. The United States of America is a true sovereign de jure nation, but the Constitution was never meant or created to be a government. It was a trust, right? It was a trust that was signed by founding fathers, right? To act as the trustees, all for the benefit of we the people. Okay? We the people, it was a trust contract, y'all. We didn't sign it. We the people didn't sign it, right? It was just our job to act as the beneficiaries, okay? All right? So that we could get the benefits. Yeah, right? So that they could lawfully pay for our debts as the constitutor as they are. But see, they got tricky. And they created the U.S. corporation there in 1871. And that's when everything changed, right? Because no longer were they acting as our sovereign de jure constitutor that was here to pay our debts. Instead, they gave us a business, name all caps, to be liable for obligations, and created us a straw man so that we could do business in their commercial world and now be responsible for obligations, not debts. Obligations, because your debts are paid for. That's what the constitutor already took care of, and they never told you that. But instead, on that contract, you just freely signed up for an obligation on the business side. Right? Because they can't talk to the real living man, we the people. Okay, so that's just a gem, man, and it's important to know that the U.S. Constitution as we know it is a trust, and it was built and put here for us. Right? Now, we must know after 1871, what they created was a government. Okay? And this corporate government was set up to actually rule and manage citizens and state property. Period. Hello? Do we get it now? Okay? 1871, everything became a corporation, and that's when we started becoming governed. So the USA, the Republic Constitution, was never created to be a government. It was here to be a guideline, a structure, right? A trust to show us how we were supposed to be operating according to the bylaws that the founders put together. It was never supposed to be a government. The police department is nowhere in any constitution. Who are these people? Have you ever seen the Harris County Police Department? Have you ever seen your local police department in any organic state constitution there? You haven't. Because they're working for Rome here just to control Rome's subjects, which are you citizens. But again, that's why they're in your passport. First page, it'll tell you that. That passport is for U.S. citizens / nationals, y'all. Which one will you be? One of them has privileges. The other actually has rights. Which one will it be? Don't get caught up in the smoke. I hope that you make it out. It's your boy, BrothaTruth, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And again, thank you for building with me. And y'all make sure y'all catch the next episode of Do You Know the Truth? Peace and love.